every court hearing Young Thug is involved in during this YSL RICO trial, people are either snitching on him, setting him up, or affecting his future in the case. As very recently, a YSL member in court tried setting Young Thug up for something very serious, as it was just announced that Young Thug allegedly tried pulling something during trial in front of several cameras and security guards. Thankfully, Young Thug will not be facing consequences for this incident, but still, a YSL member intentionally tried setting him up, and this could have ended very poorly for the YSL kingpin. As it was announced, exclusive, my colleague Mark just obtained surveillance video that shows the moment prosecutors accused Young Thug and his co-defendant, Khalif Adams, of conduring a hand-to-hand deal in court. Here's the exclusive footage from the courtroom. Leave a like on the video if you're a fan of Young Thug. I'm curious how many fans are watching today. The Twitter thread continues stating, prosecutors say the surveillance shows Adams walking over to where Young Thug is seated with his attorney. He then drops narcotics into Young Thug's hand. A deputy then confronts Young Thug and he turns over the item to authorities. When deputies searched Adams, they found him in possession of narcotics wrapped in plastic and food seasoning to conceal the odor, according to investigators. Investigators state Adams was taken to Grady Hospital after he appeared to ingest other items of contraband in an effort to conceal the extent of his crimes within the courtroom, as prosecutors filed a motion asking the judge to make a finding of fact that the court was delayed on January 18th, 2023 because of the actions of defendant Williams and defendant Adams. To the final tweet stating, an attorney named Keith Adams for Young Thug responded to allegations that his client was involved in the deal. With the audio of one of Young Thug's lawyers reacting to the allegations of the video released online, this made major headways online, as it's now clear YSL rappers are now starting to set up Young Thug, not only snitch on him.
The reality is, Mr. Williams had nothing to do with what went on in the courtroom on yesterday. One of the co-defendants, on his way to the restroom, attempted to pass something to Mr. Williams, who immediately turned it over to the deputy.
He did not know it was allegedly Percocet?
Did not know. Well, we don't know what it is. Did not know what it was, turned it over to the deputy right away. The deputies took action. The individual who had the contraband, not Mr. Williams, was taken into the back.
It's currently being investigated to see if this YSL member tried setting up Young Thug to face even more charges. However, there was one YSL member who intentionally gave Young Thug more charges on his own. This YSL member is Gunna, as back on December 14th, YSL rapper Gunna accepted a plea deal in the courtroom. In this plea deal, Gunna admitted that YSL is a street team that commits crimes as shared during this video.
You agree or acknowledge that the statements are true, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I became affiliated with YSL around 2016. Is that true as it pertains to you, Mr. Kitchens?
Yes, ma'am.
YSL is a music label and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance.
Yes, ma'am.
You were present when law enforcement officers stopped a vehicle in which you were present along with Jeffrey Williams, wherein hydrocarbons and a firearm were recovered. These items did not belong to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you acknowledge the following statement? I recognize, accept, and deeply regret that my talent and music indirectly furthered YSL to the detriment of my community. YSL again. Is that your statement or acknowledgement?
Yes.
After the Gunna snitching video went viral online, DJ Academics tweeted, "YSL is having a beef on Instagram." Gunna came out and tried testing the water, claiming YSL the label, and even said free Young Thug. And everybody in YSL is looking at Gunna like, buddy, you're the reason he is in there, as they all unfollowed him on Instagram right after, even Young Thug's sister as well. This all began when Gunna tweeted, "Rest in peace Lil Keed, I love you and I miss you twin," referring to the late YSL rapper Lil Keed, who sadly passed away 2 weeks into the YSL RICO case. Young Thug and Gunna didn't really have the chance to make an announcement or react to it online, with them being in jail at the time. And he even posted on his Instagram 30 minutes later a picture in his in-home studio with a caption stating, "People acting like they switching to his side, but it's only one side. Hashtag YSL the label, free Young Thug, and yak." Now this Instagram post got a lot of backlash from YSL members that are staying true to YSL and Young Thug, as YSL King Mondo stood up for Young Thug. He replied to Gunna on his Instagram post stating, "I ain't gonna bite my tongue. Baby boy, you don't need to be saying nothing about YSL or free Young Thug after what you said. You really got some nerve." It wasn't only YSL members either that reacted to Gunna posting on social medias, as on January 14th, 2 of Gunna's ex-best friends both also unfollowed him on Instagram, and one even sneak dissed him in a song. These 2 being none other than Lil Baby and Lil Durk. DJ Academics shared a snippet of a new Lil Durk song. In the lyrics it says, "What happened to Virgil? He probably gonna tell," referring to the collab song that Lil Durk had with Gunna titled "What Happened to Virgil." Lil Durk has not spoken publicly about Gunna snitching, but him instead sneak dissing him in a new song likely proves it will never happen and the friendship between the 2 is over. But this even led into Lil Baby making a very surprising move, as Lil Baby and Gunna had been best friends for several years. They both started their rap careers together, all under Young Thug's guidance when they were first starting out, which is why many people are surprised Gunna would have done this. As Academics tweeted, "The streets are saying Lil Baby unfollowed Gunna today. Y'all think the industry is giving Gunna too much of a hard time for being a truth teller or nah?" Now this is a huge move. Lil Baby and Gunna not being friends anymore definitely affects YSL, even though Baby is not signed there. But this will hurt Gunna in the long run with features on music down the road. Even with everybody turning their backs on Young Thug and everyone snitching on him and even setting him up in court, the trial for the YSL RICO case did begin a little over a week ago. While everything looks very bad, there is one positive, and this is the trial being delayed for a little amount of time. This works out huge for Young Thug, giving him and his lawyers more time to create defenses for him in court, as it was announced that a juror in the Young Thug trial skipped her jury duty to go on vacation. This usually results in jail time. Instead, the judge is forcing her to write a 30-page essay instead of jail time. Here is the requirements.
Contempt is punishable easily by a fine of $1,000 and or 20 days in jail. I am not going to fine you. What I think I'm going to do is, in order for you to satisfy your contempt, I'm going to commute the 20 days and require you to write a 30-page paper on the importance of jury service. Here's the criteria. You'll have to do APA style. You're going to have to use at least 10 primary sources, 10 secondary sources. You'll talk at a minimum, and I'll write this in the order. You're going to write at a minimum history, the history of jury service, who could not serve on a jury, because that's very important.
These are very hard requirements for something you would think wouldn't be that serious. But it was also during that court hearing where Young Thug's new charges were also outlined. The collective of YSL is facing a total of 65 total charges involving street activity, criminal charges, things in that nature. However, Young Thug is only being charged with 8 counts. Sadly, he is still looking at serving life in prison. The 8 charges out of 65 Young Thug is currently facing is conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, otherwise known as the RICO charge, 1 charge of participation in criminal street activity, 1 charge of possession of narcotics with intent to distribute, possession of a special type of drink with intent to distribute, possession of more narcotics, possession of a firearm, and 1 charge of possession for switches for firearms. These charges have all been confirmed as YSL members snitched out Young Thug, giving the feds all of the evidence they need against him for those charges. Young Thug had all of these charges land on him after Gunna accepted his plea deal. However, YSL members have been snitching on Young Thug ever since day 1 of the case, as this was announced on the first day of the YSL RICO case.
He's the one directing traffic. He is the one that we're all afraid of. He's the one that's king slime. He is the most dangerous of the 28, Judge. And I implore you not to grant him a bond. He is dangerous. If he gets a burner, Judge, and the court may know this, a lot of the communications that Mr. Williams is on FaceTime, because it's not traceable, it's not trackable. Judge, I will also say that we have taken proffers from fellow from Mr. Williams. Some are on this indictment, some are not. They have stated uniformly that Mr. Williams is dangerous. They are afraid of him, that if they cross him, he will them and their family. And they were very clear about that.
Concerns that this court has is danger to persons and to intimidate other witnesses and obstruct the administration of justice. So and for those reasons in the aggregate, I'm going to deny bond at this time.
With allegedly 15 snitches now in the YSL RICO case, as each and every single week, there was one new one creating a proffer deal with the feds, as explained in the video clip I just shared. I'm curious to know what you believe Young Thug's sentence will be. Comment it down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. It's been District Trending, and I'm out. Peace.